The key verse that talks about the ascension is found in Acts chapter 1. So the verse that I have for you out there, we'd like to just read it quickly together, shall we? Acts 1:8. But and you shall be my witnesses to me. And all of you are familiar with this verse. Why does it begin with the word but? Do you know why it begins with the but? It begins with the word but because the disciples were, just like all of us, are so distracted by the needs of this life, of this nation, of this family, of this present situation. We are so focused on the present and the past. We don't know what the future holds. So, why did it begin with a but? So, if you start with Acts chapter 1, you see that the verse before Acts 1:8 actually is not a complete sentence. The complete sentence begins with verse 7. Now, what does verse 7 say? 7 says, Jesus said to them, to all the disciples, "It is not for you to know the times and dates the Father has set by his own authority." It's not for you to know the times. Times about what? Then you have to go back to verse 6. So when they met together, they asked him, "Lord, are you at this time going to restore the kingdom to Israel?" They were all concerned about God's promise that Israel will be restored as a kingdom. Up to this time, for 600 years, they had no nation. They had no self-government. They have been ruled by foreigners. And at the time of this question will be another 2,000 more years before the kingdom will be restored. It's going to be another 2,000 years. So Jesus is saying, look, don't get distracted by all these current needs. You focus on what is important. You focus on my kingdom. So if you go back further up, what has Jesus been talking about? So what does he say in verse 3? He says, after his suffering, he showed himself to these men and gave many convincing proofs that he was alive. Were there any proof that Jesus was alive? Many, says Luke. He appeared to them over a period of 40 days and spoke to them about what? The kingdom of God. You see, we are all so focused on our own kingdom, our own families, our own careers, our own things. It's always me, my, mine. When they form a club, they call it the me club. Everything is me, me, me. You know, the full of me is Hokkien me, Teochew me. It's always me. Now the focus is going to change because Jesus says, can you stop talking about your me? Can you talk about now my kingdom? Because my kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom. And you have the privilege of being my witnesses. Now it's very important to know the context of this. Because if it's just any old person say, you are my witnesses, huh? Hey, we are going to go to court next week. You be my witness, okay, you speak for me, and you speak all good things for me. No, you need to understand the identity of the person who is asking. It's not a friend. It's the King of Kings. And it's at this ascension that we need to know a number of different things. First of all, we all know Jesus as a lowly servant. He came on earth to serve, not to be served. But things are changing. At the ascension, he moves from servanthood to kingship. So what's the difference? Well,